Hi! Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody! I hope y'all are doing good today. I am periscoping from my car, but sometimes that's just the way it works out, so that's okay. I hope y'all are all doing good today. So, happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't even know if y'all know why we celebrate today. But hey, by the way, thanks for the hearts. And I see green hearts, which happens to work out great. Hi, Tracy. Thank y'all for joining. I really love periscoping with all of you. Hi, Jillian. Oh, it's great to have all of you with me today. So I just titled that, Let's Think About What St. Patrick and James Have in Common. If you remember, I periscoped last week a little bit about the book of James. And as I was reading this, I just thought, he and St. Patrick had a lot in common. Now, today on March 17th, we're actually celebrating, if you will, the death of St. Patrick. So today is really the day that he died many years ago. Now, he did not live during the same time period that James did when he wrote the book of James, but James was the brother of Jesus. But he and St. Patrick certainly had something in common, is they understood Jesus Christ. They understood of who Jesus was, and they had a very personal relationship with them. So I love that in the book of James. Now, James was born, he was the half-brother of Jesus, okay? The half-brother of Jesus. And he was born probably around AD 49. AD means after death, okay? So that's after Christ died and was resurrected. Boy, it's great to be celebrating Resurrection Day. The calendar is all about Jesus' death and resurrection, right? So AD stands for after death, okay? And so probably about 49 AD was when that was. But James, St. Patrick, he died probably in 387 AD. So he was a 5th century, actually like an apostle or a bishop in Ireland, but he was not Irish. He had been captured by pirates to be a slave in Ireland. So he was familiar with very bad things happening, right? He did not have a perfect life by any stretch of the imagination. And after, he was originally from Great Britain, so he's this British man, and he just embraced the love of God in his life. And here's a quote from St. Patrick: Christ beside me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ within me, Christ beneath me, and Christ above me. He had a revelation that God was everywhere, was absolutely omnipresent and omniscient. His relationship with Jesus was so empowering that even after he wasn't a slave anymore, he returned back to Ireland. The people who made him a slave, he returned back to Ireland to be a missionary there. Can you believe that? And this is so great. Yes. Oh, did you hear that about him? Oh, good. I posted that on my Instagram this morning. He returned back to Ireland to be a missionary. To be a missionary to the people that captured him. So in the book of James, when James was talking about God blesses those who patiently endure testing, afterward they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to all who love him. Well, St. Patrick certainly knew that God loved him, and he loved God right back. He devoted his life to being a missionary to Ireland. Great is thy faithfulness. I love the way that James, the next scripture, a few down in chapter 1, verse 17. And I posted this on my Instagram and transferred it to Facebook today too, because y'all, it is not about luck, really. It's not at all about luck. The beautiful thing is, this is what verse 17 says, James chapter 1:17. Whatever is good and perfect gift from above comes down from God our Father, who created all the lights in heavens. He never changes or casts a shifting shadow. He chooses to give birth to us by giving us his true word, and we, out of all creation, became his prized possession. So that was the message that St. Patrick was preaching as a missionary all over Ireland. Yeah, it's not about luck. It's about that God is never changing. It's about that God is always faithful. We used to sing a song in church when I was a little girl. I don't know if any of you ever sang this, or if you grew up in a church like mine, but it went like this. You guys, my voice is not that great right now. I just got to tell you. It went like this, Every perfect gift is from above, from the Father of lights to the Lord of love. This joy that I have, that I'm singing of, is from the Lord, from the Lord. That's where the joy comes from. That's where the joy comes from. You know, and that song, that was kind of a fun little song, was from this scripture. Okay, so from the Father of lights, from the Lord of love, every good and perfect gift, remember that song, Terry, comes from above. Y'all, and the scripture says, and his shadow is never shifting. And this is in reference to kind of like the sun. You know how the sun, you grew up with that song, Terry? Okay. The sun, you know, at times there's going to be an eclipse. There's times where the sun, there's a variableness there, okay? But in this word, it occurs nowhere else in the New Testament. It means change, alteration, and would properly be applied to the changes observed in astronomy. Okay, so the shadow of turning, it refers to the shadow cast by the sun from an object, okay, during the revolutions, like the sun rising, the sun setting, you know, just the way the sun will cast shadows. But with Jesus, his light, he is the creator of all universe, okay? So he's created the sun to cast shadows. There's a reason for it, and the moon also. But with him, there is no casting of shadows. He never changes. He is always faithful. He is always light, and he's the creator of the universe. So as the creator of the universe, it is amazing to comprehend, just like St. Patrick did, he never leaves you. He never forsakes you. He never turns to where there's a shadow cast upon you, ever, no matter what trials you face. Even if you're captured by pirates, of course, that's not going to happen with any of us right now, but that was a very real situation to him. He was captured by pirates and made to be a slave. So, you know, he had to leave his home country of Great Britain to be a slave in Ireland. And then the fact that he goes back and is a missionary to them, he had a revelation of how special he was to God, and that God had a plan and a purpose for his life, even in the midst of that trial. Even in the midst of that, God had a plan and had a purpose, and he recognized that because he recognized how good God is, that wasn't a mistake. God made good even come out of that terrible situation. And so it reminded me of this song when I was looking at this earlier today. It's the hymn that we also used to sing. Do y'all remember, Great is Thy Faithfulness? That is what this is all about. That's what the book of James is talking about, y'all. The book of James and St. Patrick knew beyond a shadow of a doubt God's faithfulness, his faithfulness. And in this song, great is thy faithfulness. Remember the hymn, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. Y'all, we have morning after morning, right? Our sun sets and our sun rises again every new morning. And every new morning, we see new mercies. All I have needed, God's hand has provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Then the next verse, summer and winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. You know, there are seasons. We have seasons. Now we're just entering into spring. We have seasons in our life. Our world is made up of seasons. Our life has seasons. With St. Patrick, his life had a season of being a child in Great Britain. Then his life had a season of being captured. Then his life had a season of being a slave and taking care of animals in Scotland. Then his life had a season of being released. Then his life had a season of becoming a bishop. Then his life had a season of being a missionary and returning back to Ireland. So his life had seasons, but even in those seasons, he recognized the fact that God doesn't have seasons. God never has seasons because he never turns a shadow. He always has one purpose in mind, which is you, which is how great his love is for you. That is it. And he never turns a shadow on that. So the rest of the song, pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine own great presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow, blessings all mine with 10,000s beside. That is God's mercy. That is his faithfulness. He was faithful to St. Patrick. He will be faithful to you, and he never turns his shadow. That's what the scripture is talking about in James. So I'm going to read it one more time. Whatever is good and perfect is a gift that comes down to us from God our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. He never changes or casts a shifting shadow. He chose to give birth to us by giving us his true word, and we, out of all creation, are his prized possession. You are his prized possession today, just like St. Patrick was his prized possession, and we celebrate his life and his death today because he left us a legacy of knowing that God is real. God is real. So y'all, enjoy today. I hope that you have a beautiful spring day. We have a beautiful spring day here in Dallas. It was raining earlier this morning with a big storm, but the sun's out now and we're celebrating spring, and it's a beautiful day. Don't just think about wearing green, and don't just think about good luck, y'all. Think about the fact that God is so faithful that if you put your life in his hands, there's no need for luck because there is no worst case scenario. God will always love you. He will always be faithful to you, and he will never turn his back on you. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. So that is your word for today. Happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all, and you have a great rest of the day, and I'll be back at 9 o'clock tonight. Bye-bye.